Okay, we're live. Well, we'll be getting started in just a few minutes here. My name is Rachel Burson, and I'm from the Robotics Institute, and I serve as the co-director for the RI Summer Scholar Program. And I am joined by Long Lee. Long conducted research with Katya Sakara, and we're going to be sharing with you a little bit about Carnegie Mellon, the Robotics Institute, the RIS program, but also looking really at some of the research that Long did and having a discussion about why research is important and how you can get started. So we hope that you'll learn a lot from this experience, and we're looking forward to your questions. A couple housekeeping items, and I'll continue those as we go throughout. In the chat, I will share a link, and it's already in there, but I'll continue to populate that in so you can ask questions as we go through. We'll give folks a minute or two to get started. And I'm going to bring up my slides, and then we'll dive into that. So let's see. I think we have a couple people that are having problems getting in. Let me see if I can do a little tech support in the background. And okay, great. So we have a few folks that are having some technical issues. We'll try to help them in the background, but we have 18 people with us right now, and we'll be diving in. So just a moment while I try to help others. And great, we're set. Everyone is able to get in. So again, my name is Rachel Burson, and my colleague Long Lee is here. We're going to be talking about the Robotics Institute, Carnegie Mellon, the RIS program, and research opportunities for you. So I'd like to invite Long also to say hello and welcome you as well. So Long.
So hi everyone. I'm Long. I'm a senior. Last summer I did research at Carnegie Mellon with Professor Katya Sakara.
Awesome, wonderful.
Happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Long. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's dive in, and we're going to do a quick dive. What we want to do today is we want to talk a little bit about the RISS program and the opportunity here. We've got a lot of great questions that are already coming in, so thank you for those. We'll go ahead and answer those throughout the program today, and we have a half hour together. So the RI Summer Scholar Program actually began in 2006, and it's at Carnegie Mellon. And Carnegie Mellon is an important place for a number of different fields and disciplines, but especially for robotics. Carnegie Mellon University launched the first Robotics Institute as the first academic department in robotics. As we know, is a top-ranked university in many different fields, but especially in computer science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and robotics. And the city has been transformed through the really the pioneers and the others that are here. Just this past month, some of our founders received the keys, what they call the keys to the city. And so there are a lot of reasons why the Robotics Institute is a great place to come to do research, but a lot of it is that we're really one of the largest communities in the US that's connected to a university. And so there are hundreds of active projects. There are more than 60 faculty members just in our institute doing so many different projects and application areas and really driving forward innovation. So we'll talk a little bit about what the Summer Scholar Program is, and then Long will be able to share with you what his journey was and what his experience. In the last 2 summers, we have been completely virtual. We've been completely virtual. We will be shifting to a fully in-person experience for summer 2022, and we're really excited to have you all join us and explore this possibility. So the RI Summer Scholar Program is open to students from any any background or country. So applications are accepted across fields and nationality. There are scholarships and supports that are both for US and international students there. We'll work with international students to help you come to the US and get the right visas in place as well. We anticipate that we'll have a cohort about 40 undergraduate students. So the profile of a summer scholar is an undergraduate student that has at least one semester, full semester of education left as an undergraduate. So what do you do? What is the Summer Scholar Program? It's really, if we would think about it simply, it's three things. It's guided research, it's a series of professional development, and it's also the community. So opportunities to connect. And each of these are scaffolded in a way and promoted so that you can explore what your fit is, what different areas that you might be interested in pursuing in graduate school or in industry. We do a lot to look at graduate school paths. And it's just exciting to come together with others that are exploring this. And that's why we really focus on all of us being undergraduate students rather than having different different range of students, but it's really a cohesive cohort. We will be live in Pittsburgh on the ground June 1st through August 5th. And again, that community experience is essential that we all come together. I wanted to show you a few hints to how to prepare or apply to the Summer Scholar Program. And I wanted to start off by sharing a few slides that were from the website. And so where to kind of help orient you. If you go to the riss website and you go to the apply, there are going to be multiple opportunities for you to attend virtual information sessions. So this can be a first conversation and we can continue to come together. So there's the application portal that is online. And I really would suggest that you look at the hints and the help, right? So it lists out the information that is essential. When you're applying, you will be selecting areas of interest and you also be selecting faculty of interest. So Long and I will help maybe guide you a little bit on the website and thinking about how you can find faculty members, mentors of interest. So one of the first steps, and I'm going to look here at the hints to successful application, is to explore the research showcase. So these are the videos, the posters, and the papers. What has been done? This will give you a framework and an idea very quickly of the types of projects that riss mentors work with undergraduate students. From there, you can really identify what are the mentors and the projects that you might want to work with. I would suggest going back through, looking at the posters, looking at the videos, very quickly, you can find projects of interest. Once you find a few projects of interest, go a little bit deeper and go to the Working Papers Journal so that you can see the work and understand it more fully. You're always welcome to continue to attend information sessions and to explore the work that our mentors are doing online. We've put a few resources up there so that you can find out a little bit more about some of the pieces of an application. When you think about applying, the resume should be 2 pages or less. So you're looking for something that's short and concise. You're going to need to provide your transcripts. Make sure that you do so in a way that's clear, and the transcripts must be in English as well. You will need to have at least one recommendation letter. It's really important that you have at least one recommendation from someone in academia. This could be a university professor or a course instructor. It's usually more powerful, and the recommender can write a deeper recommendation letter to show your research skills if they've completed projects with them. So if you, at your home university, if you've had the opportunity to work on contests, on projects, if you've done research, then think about who your mentors and advisors were. You may include recommendations from industry, but make sure really that you have at least one person, one recommendation that clearly speaks to your potential in research. Your statement of purpose, and what I'd like to suggest there is that make sure that you've gone through the prior research. Make sure that you know where there's alignment, where you might be interested in working. So risk is global and inclusive. We get lots of questions about whether or not international students can attend. Yes, international students both in the US, attending school here, or overseas are eligible to apply and to be selected. In fact, we've hosted students from over 50 countries. It's really about a community of support coming together to try to learn and to see what kinds of projects are going on. So the benefit of risk is that you have your specific research project, but then in that professional development and in the cohort, you're going to look beyond that. We try to be really supportive. We try to create group activities when we're in person, and we do a lot of workshops. We work with industry partners like DGI and UB Tech to also give some fun opportunities just to come together. Because outreach is core to what we do in sharing robotics, we also make a number of presentations during the summer when we're in person. And we open up some of our talks to those outside as well. So last summer, we had students from more than 30 different countries join us for a community robotics series. We have so many students that go on to graduate school and all across the School of Computer Science at Carnegie Mellon, not just within the Robotics Institute. And two of the pieces that we help you with to get ready is the professional development that will help you to build a skill set, a series of skills to communicate your research results, to create a compelling argument for your research and for support for you. And so we publish annually a working papers journal. And so I invite you to take a look at Long's paper in there and the work that he did with Katya. And we did virtual information sessions or virtual poster sessions, but normally we have a celebration where we come together as a community. So people are coming together with a variety of interests, with different backgrounds and a huge range of projects. But at the end, we're coming together and we're really just celebrating the opportunity to explore and supporting each other. So rather than risking a competitive, we are here to support each other and each of you. The students go on to attend really top graduate school, and they're working for wonderful, wonderful companies. RIS is a community, and that is the core of what we do, is to help you on a journey toward research, to help you explore robotics, and to see what may be some next steps. So what I'd like to do is just take a moment. A few questions did come in, and we can maybe talk about some of those. And at that time, during that gives long time to also set up if you'd like to share some slides or get ready to talk a little bit about his research. And so looking at some of the questions that came in, we've got some great questions. And so we know that students from any background or nationality can be selected to participate in the RI Summer Scholar Program. The projects, so someone's saying, how are projects determined? Look at the research showcase. The research showcase will tell you really a lot about the range of previous projects. And there are aspects of these projects that really go forward, So research showcase, look at the posters and such. And I'll ask Long to share. There were a number of students that were in Katya's lab, and I know each lab has a different matching project. What was the project that you worked on, and how did they choose the project for you, or did you choose it together? What was your experience with that?
Right. So I had something on my slides as well. But I guess I'll say it now. So what you really want to, as Rachel said, you really want to like do research beforehand because you want to make sure that you actually get to work on things that you actually care about. So reading about past research projects, make sure that you choose the right advisors because you're gonna say, I want to work with Professor XYZ on my essay. And then for me, I had a call with Cassia, and then I came like before the call, I had to read her recent papers to make sure that I'm well informed of her research, and then she just told me about like two options for projects, and then I pick one that I like more. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Long, if you'd like to share some slides, you're set up there, and I'll dive in on the background with some to share some resources with them.
Sure.
And in the chat, I've shared with you the research showcase. Please look at those posters because as Long was saying, that's what's really important. That's what's really important.
Is this visible for everyone and so on? Okay, cool. So yeah, so I'm Long. I'm a senior studying computer science at UMass. When I applied to riss, I was a junior. So I did riss project this past summer. So yeah, I worked in the Advanced Agent Robotics Technology Lab with Professor Cassia Sicara. And in our lab, we have like two main research focus. We focus on human-agent teaming. So human and robots working together in a team. And we also interested in multi-robot coordinations. So robots, like we have multiple robots working in the same teams. And here are pictures of some of my wonderful collaborators. And if this is something that you're interested in, you can also read more about our research in Cassia website. So to go here, let's take a while to load. Yeah, you can see her research overview here. And most faculty also have their webpage and things like that. So you can dig around and see what they're doing right now. You can also go to the Google Scholar, which is like, so Google Scholar is just a list of publications that the faculty has done. And you can sort this by year. So these are the most recent papers. These are all published in 2021. And you can see what each faculty is up to right now. Okay. So yeah. So why human agent teaming? So because we believe that the agent can augment the abilities of the humans in many ways. So agent can help human to do more tasks, like more efficiently, overcoming things like stress and memory loss and other sort of disabilities or inefficiencies. Yeah, I'll talk more about this later because the project I did is also have something to do with human agent teaming. And yeah, and second question is why multi-robot coordination? Because multiple robots can do more things than one robot, right? So there's a picture of these warehouse robots at Amazon. So the warehouse robots, run around and sort of collect packages for people. Yeah, so the challenges for these approaches would be one, social intelligence. So once you work in a team, you need to be socially intelligent and be aware of other agents or the people working in the same team as you. And also the second the second challenge is coordination. So you make sure that you're not stepping on each other's toe. So it's be really bad for two robots just collide, run into each other, and just crash. Okay, so the project I worked during this past summer is called Artificial Social Intelligence for Successful Team, or ASSIST for short. The setting that we were looking at is simulated urban search and rescue. So in this setting, we have a collapse building, And then we have victims that are trapped within the rooms and buried with rubble. And we have a team of humans, human rescuers, and they have different roles such as medic and engineer. Engineer can clear rubble, and medic can triage victims, etc. And in this setting, we are interested in how we can incorporate AI into this setting to make the team be more efficient, right? Because in the picture, you already see in this picture, there's a team with a dog here, right? There's not only humans, there are also something else, right? There's a dog in the team. So the question is like, can we sort of incorporate AI into this picture? And AI, like I said, AI can alleviate a lot of human cognitive limitations such as stress or memory loss, and it can observe and provide interventions to improve the teamwork. So, for example, if I noticing that two teammates or two rescuers are not communicating effectively with each other, then the AI can step in and suggest that they communicate more or something like that. Right? Yeah. So one important aspect of good teamwork is social intelligence, right? And in literature, this is called theory of mind. So theory of mind is the ability to predict other people's beliefs, desires, intentions. It's crucial for social intelligence. Simply put, theory of mind is just the ability to put you in the shoes of other people. And the famous example is the Sally Ann experiment. So in this experiment, you have so what psychologists do is they show the experiment to young children and tell them to predict what's going to happen. So in this experiment, there are two persons, Sally and Anne, and Sally put, you can follow along this picture. So Sally put like a ball in the yellow basket, and then Sally goes away, and then Anne moved the ball from the yellow basket to her red box, and then Sally would come back. And the question the psychologist asked, so the young humans like 5 years old would observe this entire sequence, and then the psychologist would ask them, where will Sally look for her balls, right? And you can think about this for a second, and hopefully the answer would be Sally would look for the ball in the yellow basket, right? And that shows some social intelligence, showing that you are able to see other people's perspective. Because to Sally, Sally is still thinking that her ball is still in the yellow basket right there. Because when Anne moved the ball from the yellow basket to the box, Sally was gone, so Sally didn't see it. So although the correct answer, in reality, the ball is in the box, but the correct answer in this situation is the ball is in the yellow basket. So that's very crucial for social intelligence. So being able to see other people's perspective. Yeah, so if you're interested in this sort of theory of mind and USA research, again, I encourage you to go on Google Scholar and just sort by year and then search for search and rescue. And we have a bunch of papers published on these topics, but I think for this year, something like that. Yeah, so lastly, I think, this should be my last slide. So, okay. So why research? So very shortly, during research, you would have the liberty to pursue research that you care about. So if you go to industry, maybe you don't have that much opportunities, because if you work for a company, then you just most likely do whatever the company demands. And also why risk? So first, obviously, the first question is the opportunity to collaborate with top-notch researcher at CMU in cutting-edge problems, and also the sense of community. So like Rachel said, risk is a very diverse cohort of many different backgrounds. We have people major in CS, people major in math, robotics, mechanical engineering, biomedical, etc. A lot of different majors come from a lot of different countries and interested in different things. There's a wide variety of projects ranging from robotics and planning, perception, and AI, computer vision, natural language, etc. There's also like a sense community because we have this thing called a peer engagement, which is just like a game day. So you get together with your cohort and play games. There's also a very excellent support. So you can reach out to the staff at riss, like Rachel and John and Jenny, for help. They host office hour during the summer. You can come in and ask any questions about pretty much anything. There's also like graduate student panel. If you're looking into graduate school, you can attend these panel, ask questions for the current graduate students. And there's also graduate school application support that will look over resume, and then you can also talk with the staff in the admissions. And there's also a lot of opportunities for networking and growth. You can network with people in your lab, and you can network with people in other labs as well. So this past summer, they have the project where you can sign up to sort of sit on the other lab. So if you're working for Professor A, but you're also interested in what Professor B is doing, you can sign up to sort of like sit in Professor B lab to see what they're doing. There's also technical talks hosted by CMU professors. I think there are like 3 talks or something last summer. So those are also available to attend. Obviously, this very serious research program. You would not be like fetching people coffee or doing their laundry. You would actually be doing like serious research. So hopefully by the end of it, you would grow a researcher. You would have many skills like reading paper, coming up with ideas and implementing your ideas and communicating your ideas with other people. And you can also grow other soft skills because we have many team in the riss, like the external marketing team and the journal team. So you can sign up for those teams, and you can grow your like personal, grow your people skills through those opportunities as well. Yeah. Okay. Since I'm running out of time, so I'll be quick for this. So applying for riss. So letter of recommendation. Again, one of the most important factor, preferably it should be from your past research advisor, so someone who can talk about your research potential. And the second most important thing is the statement of purpose, and you really want to show the research fit with your advisor. And the way to do it is to actually do your homework and see what other people are doing and how you can like which faculty you can fit your research well with and can contribute most meaningfully with. And yeah, and very briefly on resume, there's a link by Gail McDoyle. It's a very typical like resume tips for CS major. You should look at those. And in resume, I also find it's very helpful to follow the STAR method. So situation, task, action, result. So it's pretty important that you show the context of the thing that you do, because you cannot assume the reader just know what you're doing. So it's very important to show like the situation of your problem, like what you are trying to solve and how you solve it and what was the result. Yeah, so that's the end of my talk. And if you have any question, don't be hesitant to reach out to me through email or LinkedIn. Yeah.
Thank you, Long. And your experience and what you went through really guided those that are joining us today of, what is that research? What is the homework that you do before you apply to riss? And that is essential, that you look at prior projects, you read. So I really liked how you showed, find some of those projects, go to Google Scholars, see what that faculty member is working on. And then you can have a really focused statement of purpose. And then you could have also, when you're selected, or if you're selected for an interview, then you have the opportunity to explore a range. And with that prior knowledge that you've done that homework, you're able to then help to craft your path, right? Rather than just coming in and saying, I want to do anything in robotics and such. And so there are a couple questions that I'll dive into here. And so what are we looking for in candidates? And I think Long will agree with me on this, is that we had students from, in this past year, 13, 14 different countries. And so really different lived experiences, different educational backgrounds as well, but passionate about the work that they were doing, very serious about it as well. And each had a core skill set that was matched to their project that helped them to contribute. How would you describe the other scholars? Is that, what were some of your experiences with just looking at their backgrounds or the way that they approach projects?
So from my lab, the people in my lab already have like previous experience, so they are generally very familiar with the research process and very competent. But I think you also have people who never did research before, right?
Yeah, no, you're exactly
Yeah.
right. And there's a good mix of that. And so one of the things that we do as well is in May, we have weekly workshops, and those are to get you up and running, because there's some of us maybe have had the opportunity to do research in different areas. Others, maybe we've only done extended projects. And so we have a few workshops early on to help to put some of those research tools in place. And so you have that framework. And then throughout the entire summer, there is a team of tutors that we hire to work with us, and also workshop providers, because as an outcome of this, we want you to be able to publish a paper and present research results, because those are essential skills for your future. And so through this experience with riss, you get that deep dive, and you're building along, exactly like you said, some robust research skills. And in addition to that, what are some of those core professional skills that will help you succeed as a researcher? And so in terms of research experience, with where some of our attendees are asking about, talk about the extended projects that you've done, talk about some of the research exploration that you have. You do not need to have publications or such, but do share presentations if you've done poster sessions or other things there. Admissions is not rolling. Admissions is done through a comprehensive process. It is better, however, to apply a little bit earlier, so that you make sure that you have the, I would give your recommenders at least 3 weeks to turn their letter in. And you want strong letters of recommendation. And so one of the things I've seen is sometimes people will submit at the last minute, and they've got really strong statement of purpose, but the recommenders don't have the time that they need to really share insight into why that candidate should be selected. So think about those. You could start an application now, and you can put your intended recommenders, and you can request those letters of recommendation now through the system. The eligibility for applying, a typical profile is listed under the FAQs online, so I would suggest taking a look at that. You must have at least one full semester. So if you're a graduating senior, this riss is not within the profile of students. We're always such a diverse group. So there is an amazing range of backgrounds, and that includes across many different dimensions. And so the final cohort is really diverse and engaged, and it's absolutely a joy to be part of. There was a question about some of the mentors. We'll be updating the mentor list, and Deepak will be one of the mentors coming up. And so there's actually so many alums that are in the graduate programs in the School of Computer Science. That's in the Robotics Institute, in machine learning, in information software research, in language technology. So there's so many alums that are populated across there, also in mechanical engineering, electrical and computer engineering, and they're really advocates for the next generation of students that try to come through. So let's see. If you had, Long, what would your final advice to the attendees be? Like if you had a final piece of advice or thought to share with them, what would you say?
Yeah. The final thing is really look over all the people work, because you're gonna spend like 3 months or 6 months, and maybe if you really want to do something that you care about. So if you don't like Shakespeare and you have to read like 300 pages of Shakespeare every day, and that's not gonna be fun for you. It's not gonna be fun for the lab. So
Yeah, that fit is so important. That fit is absolutely important. And there's more questions in the background about visas and international students. International students are absolutely welcome to the program. Absolutely welcome to the program. I think sometimes it's confusing, some of the wording and such that's standard within the application system. If you're inside the US, we'll work with you directly and we'll figure out what the best path is on immigration side. If you're outside the US, you come in a J1 intern, and there's specific information and requirements through that visa type that are set by the US government. So just a checklist of different things that we have to gather and go through together. So as a quick reminder, RIS 2022 will be fully in person in Pittsburgh. We'll be updating the group of mentors that will be available for this summer, including more. There are a number of new faculty members that have joined the Robotics Institute. And so that's really exciting. The number of folks that are going to participate is increasing. And that means more projects, more opportunities, but more homework for you as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to end the live stream, and we look forward to connecting with you again. There's the riss-info email, and when you signed up and registered for this session, there's more opportunities. So if you want to come back and there are other specific questions as you start to do some of that homework, we'd love to connect with you. Take care. Have a great day, evening,